The Whispering Kasbah. In a quiet village near the foothills of the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, there was an ancient Kasbah, fortified palace, that had been abandoned for over a century. Locals whispered about its history, claiming that it was cursed, and those who dared to enter never returned the same. Despite the legends, curiosity had its victims, especially among the youth. One summer evening, four friends, Youssef, Fatima, Amine, and Noura, decided to explore the Kasbah under the cover of night. The moon hung heavy, casting silver light over the jagged stones and broken walls. The air felt unnaturally cold, and the silence was absolute, save for the occasional chirp of distant crickets. The dare. Fatima challenged the group, "Let's prove it's not haunted. All those stories are just to scare kids." Amine laughed nervously but agreed. Youssef, always brave, led the way through the shattered wooden gate, which groaned as if protesting their presence. Inside, the Kasbah felt alive. Shadows twisted unnaturally along the cracked walls, and faint whispers brushed against their ears. Noura stopped suddenly. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Amine, clutching his flashlight tightly, replied, "It's just the wind. Let's keep moving." But deep down, they all knew, there was no wind that night. The Courtyard of Echoes. As they entered the grand courtyard, the whispers grew louder, an unsettling murmur in an unknown language. The walls seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting as though the Kasbah itself was alive. Youssef aimed his flashlight toward a well at the center of the courtyard. Fatima gasped. "Who's that?" They all turned to look. Beside the well stood a figure cloaked in white, its face obscured by a flowing veil. It stood perfectly still, its head tilted slightly as though listening. The group froze, paralyzed by fear. Then, the figure began to whisper, its voice a harsh, guttural hiss that echoed unnaturally around them. The legend revealed. Amine panicked. "We need to get out of here." But as they turned to flee, the gate they had entered was no longer there, just a solid stone wall. Noura fell to her knees, sobbing. "They say this Kasbah belonged to a sorcerer who made pacts with the jinn. He was betrayed and cursed to remain here forever, dragging others into his prison." The whispers turned into laughter, low, cruel laughter that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Youssef shouted, "We have to face it. Don't show fear." He approached the figure by the well, holding the flashlight high. The figure moved. It glided toward him without stepping, its veil lifting slightly to reveal empty black eyes, bottomless voids that seemed to pull H.